My boyfriend quit his job to become a full-time streamer and used my savings to buy gear without telling me. I didn't yell. I just canceled the Wi-Fi and electricity in my name and left. He realized his career was over when the screen went black midstream. 27. Need to get this out because my hands are still shaking and I don't know if I'm being reasonable or completely insane right now. Maybe both. Been with my boyfriend 29 for almost 4 years. Lived together for 2.5 in an apartment where I'm the primary leaseholder. When we moved in, it just made sense for everything to go under my name since I had the better credit score. Electricity, internet, even the renter's insurance. He Venmo'd me his half every month. System worked fine. He worked as a warehouse supervisor. Not glamorous, but steady. $52 a year, benefits, the whole thing. I'm a dental hygienist, make about $58. Between us, we were comfortable. Not rich, but we could afford date nights and were building savings. I had about $11,400 in my personal savings account that I'd been building for years. Emergency fund, future house down payment, whatever came first. 3 weeks ago, he came home from work at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was off that day, doing laundry. Babe, I have huge news. What's up? I quit. I stopped folding. You quit? Like, your job? Yeah, I've been thinking about this for months. I'm going full-time with streaming. This is my shot. Now look, he'd been streaming as a hobby for about 8 months. Played mostly battle royale games, had maybe 340 followers on Twitch, made approximately $0 from it. But he was convinced he was about to blow up. Just needed to commit fully. Babe, we talked about this. You said you'd wait until you had at least 1,000 consistent viewers before even considering going part-time. Plans change. I felt stuck at that warehouse. It was killing my creativity. I need to be fresh and energized for streams, not exhausted from manual labor. I wanted to scream. Instead, I took a breath. Okay, how are you paying your half of bills while you build this up? That's what I wanted to talk about. I was thinking you could cover things for a few months while I get established. 3 months, maybe 6 tops. Then when I blow up, I'll pay you back triple. Red flag parade, but I stupidly said I'd think about it. I love this man, or thought I did. Fast forward to last Thursday. I came home from a long shift to find boxes everywhere, big ones. He was setting up what looked like a professional broadcasting studio in our spare room. New gaming PC, triple monitor setup. Professional microphone on one of those fancy arms. Ring lights, acoustic panels, a brand new gaming chair that looked like it cost more than our couch. What is all this? He grinned like a kid on Christmas. My setup? Had to invest in myself, you know? Can't compete with a budget setup. My stomach dropped. How much did this cost? Don't worry about it. It's an investment. How much? He got defensive. Like $8 grand? But it's gonna pay for itself in $8,000? Where did you get $8,000? He couldn't look at me. I borrowed it. From who? Silence. From WHO. From your savings account. The room tilted. My savings account, the one that's in my name, that you don't have access to. You left your banking app logged in on the iPad. I just transferred it to my account and you stole from me? It's not stealing. We're together. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. I walked out of the room, went to the bedroom, sat on the bed. My brain was doing that thing where everything goes quiet and sharp at the same time. He followed me, still talking. Babe, come on. Don't be dramatic. I'm doing this for US. When I make it big, we'll have so much money you won't even remember this. I didn't yell, didn't cry. I just looked at him and said, I need to process this. Can you give me some space tonight? He seemed relieved I wasn't fighting. Yeah, of course. I actually have a stream scheduled for 8 p.m. anyway. Big one, lots of people said they'd show up. He left to go play video games. With equipment he bought with my money. Money I'd saved for 3 years. I waited until I heard him doing his intro. Could hear him through the walls. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Looking crisp tonight with the new setup. Then I got on my phone, called the electric company, explained I was moving out and needed to cancel service effective immediately. They said it would take about an hour to process. Called the internet provider, same thing. Requested immediate termination. Packed a bag with my essentials, laptop, documents, jewelry, left my key on the kitchen counter. Drove to my sister's place. Apparently, and I only know this because his buddy messaged me later, the power cut out midstream. Just gone. He was in the middle of a match, screen went black, everything died. His viewers watched his webcam feed freeze and disconnect. He thought it was a breaker at first, then realized nothing in the apartment worked. He called me 23 times that night. I didn't answer. Finally texted at 1 a.m., "What did you do?" I replied, "Canceled the utilities that were in my name, since I'm moving out." "You can't do that." "I can." "I did. Your career is your problem now." "What about all my equipment? The PC could be damaged from sudden power loss." "Sounds like you should have thought about that before stealing $8,000 from me." Blocked him. Now his mom is blowing up my phone saying I'm being petty and vindictive, that I'm destroying his dreams, and that I need to support my man. Am I crazy? He literally stole from me and expected me to just be okay with it. But people are making me feel like I'm the villain here. Update 1. 4 days later. So things escalated in ways I didn't expect. First, thank you to everyone who validated that I'm not insane. Needed to hear it. Now for the mess. Day after I left, my phone was exploding. His mom, his sister, his best friend, all texting and calling. I only answered his mom once because she kept implying she'd call the cops for abandonment. You can't just leave him with nothing. He has no power, no internet, no way to work. His work was playing video games, and he has no power because the utilities were in my name and I canceled them when I moved out. You did this to hurt him. I did this because he stole $8,000 from my savings account without my knowledge or consent. That's actually a crime. She went quiet. Then, that's between couples. You don't air dirty laundry, you work it out. There's nothing to work out, we're done. You're gonna regret this. He was the best thing that ever happened to you. I hung up. Meanwhile, my ex had apparently been staying with his buddy because obviously the apartment was unlivable without power. But here's where his entitlement kicked into high gear. He showed up at my sister's place. Just appeared at the door Sunday afternoon. "We need to talk." My sister tried to close the door. He put his foot in it. "This is between me and her." I came to the door. "Say what you need to say. You have 2 minutes." "You destroyed my stream. My followers are asking where I went. I had to miss 3 scheduled streams. Do you know how bad that looks for growth? You stole $8,000 from me. I told you it was an investment in our future, and you sabotaged everything." Our future? You made a unilateral decision to quit your job and then stole from me to fund your hobby. There was no conversation, no agreement. You just took. Because I knew you'd say no. You never believed in me. That one landed, I won't lie. Made me doubt myself for a second. Then I remembered the bank statement. You're right. I don't believe in you. Not anymore. Not after this. So what? You're just giving up on us? 4 years? You gave up on us when you chose streaming over honesty. When you decided your dreams were worth more than my trust. He tried a different approach. Got soft. "Baby, I'm sorry. I messed up. But we can fix this. Just come home. I'll figure out the bills. I'll pay you back. We'll get through this together." How exactly are you going to pay me back? You have no job, no income, and now no platform. I'll get the utilities back on. I'll put them in my name. Great, do that. The apartment is still under my lease though, so you have until the end of the month before I officially notify the landlord I'm breaking the lease. His face changed. You can't kick me out. I live there. You're not on the lease. You never were. And I'm giving you 3 weeks notice, which is more than generous. He left after more arguing. But here's where it got dirty. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a screenshot of me from a group chat. My ex had posted in his gaming Discord saying I was financially abusive and controlling, and that I'd pulled the plug on his career out of spite. Said I was holding his equipment hostage. I'm not holding anything hostage. His stuff is in the apartment. I didn't take it. I just don't have any obligation to keep the lights on for it. But now random people were in my DMs calling me names. His little community of 340 followers decided I was the enemy. Whatever. I can handle internet strangers. What I couldn't handle was when his mom called my mom. Yeah, she tracked down my mother's number somehow and called her to discuss the situation. Told my mom that I was being vindictive, that her son was going through something and I needed to be more understanding, that I was ruining his mental health. My mom, bless her, said, "Your son stole $8,000 from my daughter. She's not ruining anything. He did that himself." His mom's response, "It wasn't stealing. They're in a relationship." They were in a relationship, and taking money without permission is the definition of stealing, dear. She hung up on my mom, then texted me, "Your whole family is toxic. No wonder you can't keep a man." I screenshot it, added it to my folder. Oh yeah, I'm keeping a folder now. Screenshots of everything. Because something tells me this isn't over. Update 2 weeks later. Okay, so this got legally messy and emotionally exhausting. Let me catch you up. After the mom drama, things went quiet for a few days. I thought maybe he'd accepted it. Started processing. Nope. I got a letter in the mail at my sister's place from a lawyer. Demanding 1. Return of his property, the streaming equipment I never touched. 2. Compensation for lost income from missed streams, $2,400 apparently, based on projected earnings lol. 3. Reimbursement for the $380 electric deposit he had to pay to get power in his name. 4. An apology for defamation, based on me telling people he stole from me. I literally laughed out loud. Then I called my own lawyer, a lawyer friend of my sister's, who agreed to write a response letter. Her response was basically, "Your client has no legal standing. The utilities were in my client's name. She terminated them upon moving out, which is her right. The equipment belongs to your client and remains in the apartment untouched. Lost income from a hobby generating $0 is not compensable, and truth is an absolute defense to defamation." She added at the end, "Furthermore, we are evaluating whether to pursue criminal charges for the unauthorized transfer of $8,000 from my client's savings account." His lawyer went silent after that. But my ex didn't. He started showing up places. Not in a scary stalker way, just pathetic. He'd be at the coffee shop I always went to, at the grocery store near my sister's. Once outside my workplace, waiting by my car. That time I confronted him. "Why are you here?" "I just want to talk. You won't answer my calls." "Because we have nothing to talk about. You stole from me. We're done." "I made a mistake. People make mistakes. You're really gonna throw away 4 years over money? Over money? You took $8,000 without asking. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. A choice that showed me exactly who you are. You're being so cold. This isn't you. This is absolutely me. This is me when someone betrays my trust." He started crying, right there in the parking lot. Part of me felt bad. A small part. The rest of me remembered logging into my bank account and seeing that transfer. I have nothing now. No job, no streaming career, no you. I'm living on my buddy's couch. My mom thinks I'm a failure. Then maybe use this time to reflect on how you got here. I got in my car and left him standing there. But here's the part that really tested me. His sister reached out. She'd always been nice to me. We'd gotten along during holidays, had inside jokes. She asked to meet for coffee, said she wasn't there to advocate for him, just wanted to understand. I agreed. Shouldn't have. Within 10 minutes it became clear this was an intervention. He's really struggling, like really struggling. Not eating, not sleeping. His mental health is in the gutter. I'm sorry to hear that, genuinely, but that's not my responsibility anymore. Don't you think maybe you were too harsh? Like, the power thing? That was pretty brutal. You know what else is brutal? Working for 3 years to save money and having someone you trust steal it overnight. But he was going to pay you back. With what? His imaginary streaming income? He had no plan. He just took what he wanted and expected me to deal with it. She tried a few more angles. The "he really loves you" angle. The "relationships require sacrifice" angle. The "maybe you're being too materialistic" angle. That last one set me off. Materialistic? For wanting my own savings back? For being upset that money I earned was taken without my consent? That's not materialism, that's basic self-respect. She left in a huff, saying I was impossible to reason with. Fine. Be mad. The next week was when the consequences really started hitting him. And honestly, it was grimly satisfying. His buddy finally kicked him out. Apparently he'd been staying there for almost 3 weeks, not contributing to bills, not cleaning up after himself, and get this, asking to use their Wi-Fi for streaming. His buddy's girlfriend put her foot down, said he had to go. He moved back into the apartment, which now had power and internet in his name. But here's the thing about putting utilities in your own name. You actually have to pay for them with money, which he didn't have because he had no job. He tried to restart streaming, posted about his comeback on Twitter. Got maybe 12 viewers that first stream. His momentum was gone. The algorithm had moved on. His community had found other streamers to watch. I know all this because mutual friends couldn't help but update me. Apparently, his streams were depressing. He'd rant about toxic relationships and people who don't support your dreams. Chat was dead. Nobody was subscribing. Then came the part that I wasn't expecting. His mom called me again, but this time, different tone. I know we've had our differences, but I need to tell you something. He pawned some of the equipment. Okay? The equipment he bought with your money. He pawned the monitors and the chair and some other things. Got maybe $1,800 for it. Used it for rent and the electric bill. I was quiet for a second. Why are you telling me this? Because I think he owes you that money. What he got from selling it. I'm not saying what you did was right, but what he did wasn't either. He should pay you back. This was the most reasonable she'd ever been. I appreciate you saying that, but I'm not holding my breath. He's applying for jobs again, warehouse stuff. If he gets something, I'll make sure he pays you, monthly, whatever he can. We'll see. I didn't believe her, not really. But it was something. Final update, 6 weeks later. Been over a month since my last update. Things have settled in ways I didn't expect. Let me start with the legal stuff, since everyone's been asking. My lawyer friend helped me file a police report for the unauthorized transfer. This wasn't about revenge, it was about documentation. I needed a paper trail in case this ever came up again, in case he tried to claim the money was a gift or some other nonsense. The police took the report, but were pretty clear. Pursuing criminal charges for something like this between former partners is messy. They could see the transfer was unauthorized, but proving theft versus relationship finances in court is complicated. They suggested civil court instead. So I filed in small claims, asked for the $8,000 back. No lawyer needed for small claims. Just me and my documentation. He got served at his buddy's place. Yeah, he'd moved back there after his electric got shut off again for non-payment. According to the server's notes, he just stood there reading the papers, then said, "Are you kidding me?" Nope, not kidding. He didn't show up for the first court date, didn't file a response. The judge wasn't happy about that. Rescheduled, sent a warning that failure to appear again would result in default judgment. Second court date, he showed up, looking rough. Hadn't shaved in what looked like weeks, wearing a wrinkled button-down that was clearly borrowed. The judge went through the basics, asked him if he disputed the transfer. "No, Your Honor, I transferred the money, but I thought we were in a relationship. I thought it was shared. Was there any written agreement to that effect? No. Did she verbally consent to the transfer? No, but was her name on your account? No. Was your name on her account? No." The judge looked at me. "Do you have documentation of the transfer?" I handed over my bank statements, the screenshots of his texts admitting to it, everything. The judge ruled in my favor. Full amount plus court costs, $8,247 total. He looked sick. "Your Honor, I don't have that money. I'm unemployed." "Then I suggest you find employment. Judgment will be enforceable for 20 years. She can garnish wages, seize tax refunds, put liens on property. This doesn't go away." I won. Technically. But here's the reality. Getting a judgment and collecting on it are two very different things. He's working again, back at a warehouse, different company, lower pay. His mom wasn't lying about that. But he's also behind on everything. Rent, car payment, credit cards. I'm probably not seeing that money anytime soon. And honestly, that's okay. The judgment isn't about the money anymore. It's about the record. It's proof that what he did was wrong. It's documentation that a court looked at his actions and said, "You took something that wasn't yours." That matters to me more than the dollar amount. As for him, I heard through the grapevine that he's given up on streaming entirely. Sold the PC to pay rent. The dream is dead. Not because I killed it, because it was never viable in the first place. 300 followers and zero income was never going to be a career. He just refused to see it. His mom sent me an apology letter. A real one, said she was sorry for how she'd spoken to me, that she'd let her protectiveness of her son blind her to his actions, that she hoped I could move on and find happiness. It was surprisingly sincere. I didn't respond, but I didn't trash it either. It's in a drawer somewhere. His sister never reached out again. Fine by me. My ex himself sent one final message a few weeks ago. It came through email since I'd blocked him everywhere else. I know you probably won't read this, but I wanted to say I'm sorry. Not for the apology you want, for taking the money without asking. That was wrong. I know that now. I was so caught up in my own head, my own dreams, that I stopped seeing you as a partner and started seeing you as a resource. That's messed up. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I understand now. I read it 3 times. Part of me wanted to respond, to say thank you for finally getting it, to say I hope you figure your life out. I didn't though. Some bridges are meant to stay burned. I'm back in my own place now. Found a studio apartment, nothing fancy, but it's mine. Lease in my name, utilities in my name, everything exactly how I want it. Started rebuilding my savings. Only at $1,200 so far, but it's a start. People ask if I regret how I handled it. The power cut midstream, the dramatic exit. Honestly, no. He showed me exactly who he was when he took that money. He showed me that his dreams mattered more than my security, that his ambitions outweighed my autonomy, that in his mind, what was mine was already his. I just showed him what happens when you treat someone like an ATM instead of a partner. The screen going black during his stream wasn't me destroying his career. It was me refusing to fund it anymore. There's a difference. My therapist says I'm processing things in a healthy way. That anger turned into action is better than anger turned inward. That protecting yourself isn't the same as being vindictive, even when it looks similar from the outside. I'm not dating anyone right now. Not ready. Trust is going to take time to rebuild, not with someone else, but with myself. I trusted my gut for 4 years and ignored every red flag because I wanted to believe he was who I thought he was. That's on me. But I'm learning, and I'm moving forward. To anyone in a similar situation, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And you are never obligated to set yourself on fire to keep someone else's dreams warm, especially when those dreams are playing video games for 12 people on the internet. All right. That's the whole saga. Time to close this chapter and stop checking this thread every hour. Thanks for listening, internet strangers. You helped more than you know.